Feel better after that. Welcome to episode 9 of This is Smedders, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2022 to everybody. Can't believe it. Where are all these years going? It's just unbelievable. So I've just done my first stint back at the village. There we are, in Hyde. Just been for a swim, a sauna and a steam and all that. First one after New Year, so it feels fantastic. So yeah, as I say, Happy New Year everybody. Welcome to 2022. And what have we got on episode 9? Well, I hope we've got a few darts fans out there who's watching, been watching the World Darts Championship on Sky this last week or so, and it's been amazing. Well done, Peter Snakebite Wright. So anyway, I've got some old pals. I used to write a lot about darts back in the day, and one of my pals, Tony O'Shea from Stockport, he reached the world final at the turn of the century, sort of in the early 2000s, and we're going to go and see him in a minute. So I've got a great chat with Tony, cracking lad, got some real laughs coming up, happy memories. I mean, he's still on the circuit doing exhibitions and all that, and he's going to tell us, I think, about the World Seniors Championship which is coming up, so that should be good. So that's coming up, and then we've got Smedders Stadium Quiz. So first of This is Smedders Stadium Quizzes, so that's coming up, so enjoy. I'm going to get in the car now, go home and get something to eat and a coffee, and yeah, let's make our way to Stockport and go and see Tony. Good morning and welcome to a snowy and sleety Romiley near Stockport. Look outside, it's absolutely horrendous outside, typical January weather. It did forecast it, to be fair. It said it was there was a chance of snow this week. Anyway, I'm in Romiley because I'm outside the house of darts legend Tony O'Shea, who an old pal of mine from way back, who's kindly agreed to be my special guest on episode 9. Any fans of darts, any people with the slightest interest in darts will Tony will need absolutely no introduction. You'll know all about him. But for those that are not that into it, I'll just give you a little potted history. Obviously, you probably know that darts was always popular in the pubs and clubs and bars up and down the country, probably up and down, all over the world actually, in the sort of 70s and 80s. That's when it really kicked off, when it started being on telly. The World Championships were on BBC and that, and it got really popular. But I think it was 1993, the main organisers, or the sort of big stars of the game at that time, you Phil the Power Taylors and people like that, broke off into what was called, they left the British Darts Organisation, the BDO, which was running it at the time, to join the WDC, I think it was at the time, World Darts Corporation, which now is the PDC. Now the stars at the time, like I say, your Phil Taylors of this world, wanted a bit more cash, bit more prestige, and they broke off. So there was two different world championships. There was the BDO and the WDC then, but what's the PDC now, which was on the other night, which Peter Wright won. So they got the bigger sponsorship deals, the bigger telly deals, obviously massive prize money, and it was the BDO was always prided itself on sort of looking after the up and coming, the grassroots of the game, and the PDC now is all about the big money in it, to be fair. And Tony, to be fair to him, he's always stayed loyal to the BDO, and when I was covering Tony's exploits in 2002 to 2010, when I was sports editor at the Stockport Express, Tony was really in his pomp, him and fellow Stockport lad Darryl Fitton. Tony was really in his pomp, so I had some great times with him. So let's go inside and ask Tony a few questions, and should be a giggle this, yeah. I mean, behind the scenes at the darts, I had some amazing times, some cracking laughs at the lakeside. But obviously times have moved on now, so let's go inside and meet him. I'm going to brave this shite weather. 180!
Oh, not quite.
How are you, Tom?
I'm alright, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, fantastic to see you, mate. Yeah. This is the one and only Tony O'Shea, so the silverback. So fantastic to see you, Tony. It's been a long time. Thanks for coming on. This is Smedders. I really appreciate you taking
Pleasure,
your
mate.
time.
Pleasure.
And yeah, you just got a fantastic little setup here. I didn't expect anything else, to be fair.
Yeah.
How long have you had this little sort of cubby old spare room? What do you call it?
Well, it's actually a full extension, but
Yeah.
2008 I
Bit more
thought.
than a cubby hole then.
Well, a bit more. Cost a bit more than a cubby hole. But I thought back in the day I didn't even have a dartboard in the house.
Right.
So
right.
I had to
go to the pub.
I had to go to the pub, which wasn't
okay.
a problem. But anyway, I decided, I qualified for a few things, so I built this, and within a year I was at the Lakeside in the final. So
fantastic.
it paid for itself in the first year, basically.
Fantastic, brilliant. Right, okay, then we'll sit down and we'll have a little chat with
Cool.
Tony about some of the good old times and what he's been up to. Brilliant. Okay, Tony. So how's it been going? I mean, it can't have been easy this last couple of years. I mean, it's not been easy for anybody on the planet. Never mind professional dart players. So what have you kind of been up to the last couple of years, mate?
Basically this.
Right.
Bit of practice at home. I've played 2 or 3 online events, which were pretty well timed, to be honest. I mean, obviously it kept me iron, but it earned me a few quid as well. So and the standard was amazing. One of them was worldwide. We were playing at nearly midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, just so some of the Americans and the New Zealanders could join in. So I've done 2 or 3. I've done another couple of big events that were filmed in a studio in Southampton, so I had to drive down there for the week. But that was well organised, with the COVID regulations. So, but it was still good practice and it earned me a few quid as well, because with all the pubs being shut, that's my livelihood gone for 2 years basically.
This is it. I always, that was one of the things, like I said earlier, I covered Tony for about 8 years just after the turn of the century, and exhibitions were always a big sort of part of your life, weren't they, as well as obviously the tournaments.
Well, obviously you do well at the big events, and the exhibitions come along, and that's the bread and butter, to be honest. They're not performance related. You can go and have a bit of fun and have a few beers with the Joe public and enjoy the night. So I probably prefer them to the big tournaments.
You do, yeah. I remember coming over to the World Darts Trophy in Utrecht with you, and coming to one of the exhibitions you did there, and it was a real laugh, and like I say, a good money spinner for you. So just tell us about this seniors now then.
Yeah, it's fast approaching. It's the very first one.
It's in February, is it?
February the 3rd, I think it starts. It's only for 4 days, and it's down at the iconic Purfleet venue where the PDC first started their big tournament. So I've done a few exhibitions there, and it's a brilliant place to play darts. So there's 24 of us there. Not OAPs, because it's 50 plus, but there's a few of us over 60s.
I was going to say, Bobby George is in it, and who else is in it that's knocking on it? Oh, John Lowe's in it.
John Lowe's there, obviously. Bobby George is more of an ambassador than Same with Dennis Priestley. He's only recently pulled out, which is a shame.
Right.
He doesn't feel he's quite up to it, but great characters. But Phil Taylor's there, and that gives it all the kudos in the world.
Of course, he'll sell a lot of tickets, won't he? That's what it's all about. So what's the actual title? The World Masters?
There is a Masters in April coming up. Hopefully there's going to be a seniors tour. The first one's actually
Masters and seniors.
Yeah, well,
Alzheimer's kicking.
Seniors moments, no problem. I've had a few of them the last few years. But there's a full tour coming up, and the second one's going to be the Masters. The first one's the inaugural World Seniors Championship. So hopefully there'll be a bit of a tour, like the PDC's got the major tour. They've got a youth tour. We finally got a seniors tour.
Yeah, brilliant. So how did you get involved in the World Seniors in the first place then, Tony?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think it's been crying out for a seniors event for a few years. But with Phil not long retired, I mean, obviously now was the perfect time. There's so many 50-year-old plus players around that maybe not quite as sharp as they were a few years ago on the tours, different various tours, that probably now is the perfect time. And obviously the enthusiasm and the take-up we've had for it has been brilliant. Obviously, it's only a few weeks away now, so I'm hoping that obviously we have a great tournament. Phil's obviously the favourite, but there's still a hell of a lot of good players in there. We've got another Masters event scheduled for April. Hopefully the full tour will kick off this year. And again, we've got all the youth systems around the world. We've got major events everywhere. It's about time us old fellas got one to ourselves, and hopefully this is the start of something big.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, so where can the viewers watch this first tournament in Purfleet then?
It's on the BBC platform. Obviously, I think BBC Two are showing some of it, but you won't miss a dart. It's all live on the red buttons and various channels. But yeah, the BBC is the place to look for it.
Well, Tony was always it was cracking for me as a journalist. I could always get hold of him, and we always had chats on or off the record. I remember one massive story, probably the biggest story I ever sort of got involved with Tony, was when Phil the Power Taylor came to town, and I got an interview with him, and I was asking Phil about, did he think Tony and Darryl Fitton would ever switch from the BDO, to which I've said at the beginning outside, Tony always stayed very loyal to. Why he never sort of switched over or jumped ship to the PDC? Why was that, Tony?
I mean, to be honest,
because there must have been a few bob to be made.
I mean, there's a lot of money now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Was it $500,000 he got the other night?
Yeah, it's amazing. But that's Barry Hearn working his magic again.
Yeah.
We didn't have a Barry Hearn in the BDO, but to win the Lakeside or the Embassy when I first started playing, I mean, it was always my ambition, and just in the back of my head, I wanted to win that. And I had 3 shots at it in the finals. I made a few semis and quite a lot of quarter-finals as well. So I had enough chances, it just wasn't good enough. But I just wanted to win the Embassy. I still call it out these days.
Yeah.
But I just had this ambition, and I was earning decent money anyway. I was quite happy.
I was going to say, you always seem sort of, I mean, you've lived here for donkey's years, haven't you? I mean, you've always seemed really content in Stockport and Romilly, and maybe is it just that you've not always been chasing the big bucks, and you could have made.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously with hindsight, I mean, I was offered. I mean, if you talk about darts now, the golden ticket is getting that tour card, the PDC tour card.
Yeah.
And the PDC offered me probably 7 of them wild cards back in the day when they were available. For getting to the Lakeside semi-finals, you got a 2-year card. Well, I made 3 finals and probably 3 or 4 other semis, so I had plenty of chances, and we were actually, myself and Darryl were actually offered quite a good sponsor deal to go once, but again, in the back of my head, I just wanted to win that Lakeside Embassy title. I mean, one of the other things was, playing for England, the PDC have only started doing that recently, but back in the day, I've played for England for 20 years and actually captained England for 4 years. I would never have done that anywhere else. So.
Yeah. I remember, I actually remember speaking to you in Australia when you was on England duty 1 year.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've been you toured the world, didn't you? On international duty.
I mean, I won the World Cup singles. As we're looking there, there's a picture of me holding the medal there. I won the World Cup singles in America as captain. So,
yeah.
I mean, things like that. There's no amount of money can replace that. I mean, there wasn't even any prize money for winning that day. It was just for your country, which won England the World Cup. So things like that. I mean, we had some great tours to America. I mean, me and Darryl have travelled the world, and we've had some great times and seen some funny things as well. With hindsight, I probably might have done it differently. So if you know anyone with a time machine, there's a drink in it for him.
Brilliant. Okay, comical moments, Tony. Characters in darts. There's loads of them. I've seen them in the flesh, like I say, in that sort of 8 years that I was sports editor at the Express. But you must have some cracking memories. What about did you say you wanted to talk about the streaker first? You wanted to recall the streaker, go on.
Yeah, technically I wasn't involved, but I was sat close to the stage and I saw it happen, probably like a lot of your viewers. It was live on the BBCs, and I think Sean Greatbatch and Ted Hankey were playing a quarter final at the Lakeside, and this young lady decided to make a name for herself and bolted across the stage, start naked like that.
The current champion. Cruising through. Well, this is unusual.
So what where was she sat? Sort of, did she come from back? What happened?
I was sat pretty close to the stage, and she appeared round the back of our shoulders, and to be honest, it's quite iconic, the lakeside. There's no young security guards like there is now. They were old fellas in maroon jackets, and it's probably a long time since then they'd seen a young lady naked. So they were that quick into action. They just stood and stared, and it was. I'd say it was live on the BBC. It was hilarious. And
we'll have to try and see if we can dig that out.
I'm sure
YouTube when it's on somewhere, isn't it?
I'm sure it's there somewhere.
And what was the other incident about? Something about a lift, Tony, getting stuck in a lift. Come on.
Yeah, myself and Darryl Fitton. We're not the smallest of guys, and we were at a tournament, and I think you went to one of them once down the south of Holland. One of my sponsors,
right.
Rudy Kogels.
I remember meeting Rudy. Yeah, great big guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, we were at his event down in Holland, and me and Darryl entered the lift with two young Dutch ladies. And the lift got stuck, and we were there for probably 2 hours. And the fire brigade had to rescue us in the end. But the funny bit was that these two Dutch ladies were seriously pregnant.
Yeah.
They weren't when they got in the lift with me and Darryl. I'm only joking.
But, Jill's not watching.
Well, that was hilarious, getting stuck in a lift with two pregnant ladies. I mean, it's, and one of them was claustrophobic as well. So, we had to try and change subjects quite often. But, that was a funny incident. We can laugh about it now. It wasn't probably wasn't that funny at the time.
No, I bet you were sweating.
But I could stand here for hours telling you stories. Some of them probably not allowed to. But.
Yeah, I bet there's blooming loads of them, mate. I bet there's loads of them. Just one character then. Who's just one character who sticks out from your career in darts then? I don't know. I can think of a few.
Well, again, I've been lucky. I mean, I worked with Alan Evans, who's a lot of the young
late
guys.
Alan Evans,
the late great Alan Evans.
Yeah.
I worked for him for 10 years, and obviously I saw him on the dartboard. What a character! But he was a character off it.
Yeah.
And I met Jockey quite a few times.
Oh, Jockey, yeah.
Obviously, he lived with Darryl for a spell in the early 80s.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And but you become more modern. Obviously, Eric was a character.
Yeah.
Peter Manley for me is one of the funniest blokes you'll ever meet.
Right.
A lot of people.
Yeah, he doesn't come across like that, does he?
A lot of people think he's a bit of a strange one, but that was just a persona on stage, and it got him noticed, which it certainly did, because everyone knows who Pete Manley is. But you ever get a chance to go to one of his exhibitions, he's good fun, he's a really nice guy. But as are most of them, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting ready to wrap up my interview with Tony O'Shea. It's been absolutely amazing. But just finally, Tony's always been a man after my own heart in terms of football. He's always been a massive Stockport County fan, haven't you? He was always used to be at the games, and always been an ambassador for the club. Been great, quite often you're a guest at the games. You always have been, haven't you? You've been a county fan, man and boy, haven't you?
I was there boxing there as a guest, so.
Yeah, fantastic.
And it was literally 40 years this year that my first game was.
Was it?
West Ham.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, even sort of in your pomp years when you was sort of touring the world and getting to finals and all that, you always used to save time for county, and you always used to wear your county shirts and you'd show your colours and all that, didn't you?
Well, they banned it eventually, but I used to model some of my dart shirts on
You did?
Stockport County shirts.
And what, they banned it?
Yeah, I don't know, it was my shirt in particular, but I think it was it the Scandia Lager I wore with the red stripe?
Steve Parfitt's.
I mean, Steve was a massive county fan as well. So. But I managed to sneak that on. I actually played with the white version in the world final. With the stripe on the back, with the red disc in it. The only thing that was missing was the word Scandia.
Right,
so that's right. I think maybe, I mean, it's always a bit of fun trying to do stuff like that, but it's, obviously I've been a county mad since I was 10.
Yeah, and on the football side, they're coming back slowly but surely, aren't they? They've got this new owner who's got a bother too. So the team are doing well. I've seen them a couple of times this season, and so hopefully they're coming back and getting back to where they belong, aren't they? Back in the league to start.
Well, because of the darts over the last sort of 10 years, I've not got to see county too much. So during lockdown, I was in here every time we played, and I logged on and paid me £8 and watched them. So I've seen them progress the last 3 years. It's been unbelievable. And on Boxing Day, especially the Bolton game, some of the football we played was superb, and they're really looking the part at the moment.
Yeah, good. Okay, right. Thanks very much, Tony. I'm going to wrap up now. I think we're going to move on to my stadium quiz in a minute. So, but obviously, suffice to say, thank you very much, Tony, for having us.
Pleasure, mate.
Thanks for allowing me to come round to your little domain. Fantastic, this, and I'll Take care, and don't forget, Purfleet, February
the 3rd.
Yeah, BBC, and watch it on there. Watch Tony in action on there. Okay, thanks, Tony.
Cheers,
Cheers,
brother.
Cheers. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that little section. I'll tell you what, we didn't have some fun making it. I'll tell you what, we had some laughs. Right, okay then, so that's taking up the bulk of episode 9 of This Is Smedders. Hope you enjoyed it. So I'm just going to finish off. I don't just want to have just one sort of item on each episode, so I'm just going to finish off with a quick Smedders Guess the Stadium quiz. And that was a car quiz. Now then, you know that I write about football and sport and stuff like that. I'm a freelance reporter and I get out to games and all that. So this is my first one tonight. It's an evening game. We'll go inside and I'll give you a clue. I'll do 2 stadiums. I'm going to do 2 and then I'll give you the answers after. So let's go inside. I'll give you a clue and you can see where the first stadium is, and then it's up to you. It's up to you. Where are you? There. It's up to you lot to guess where I am. Now then, we're inside Stadium 1 and I've purposely plonked my head right in front of a sign with the name of the stadium on it. So yeah, have a guess where I am. This is Stadium 1. I'll give you one clue. This football club has been in Premier League since the turn of the century. So this football club has been in Premier League since the turn of the century. See if you can guess it and let me know in the comments below. And now let's move on to Stadium 2. We'll get a load of this. What about this for a welcome to Stadium 2? Brilliant, yeah, welcome to Stadium 2 everybody. We'll go inside quickly, I don't want you to see it at the moment. So we'll go inside, I'll give you a clue and then you can give me your answers in a few minutes. Cracking that. So, welcome inside Stadium 2. And it's a lovely, glorious New Year's Day today, and I've got one clue for you for Stadium 2, and it's a big one really. It's not football. I'm not at football today. I'm taking on another sport. So see if you can guess where I am, and then we'll move on in a second now to the answer to Stadium 1 and then Stadium 2, and then we'll wrap up episode 9 of This Is Smedders. So yeah, one clue, it's not football today. See where I am. See if you can guess where I am. Now then, just before the stadium quiz answers, how about this for a little snippet? Instant takeaway coffee. And what's your favourite? This is mine. McDonald's cappuccino. You see, you can see McDonald's in the background there. I'm at the one on Oldham Road at Newton Heath, and this is absolute class. It's lovely. You can stick your Costas, you can stick your Starbucks. McDonald's is my favourite by far. Cappuccino here is to die for, and it's £1.79. Can't beat it. Couple of sugars, stir it up, and Bob's your uncle. That's my favourite. Look at hot chocolate on this. Look. Can you see it? Ooh, I don't want to spill it, but wait, look at that. So yeah, McDonald's cappuccino gets my vote on the coffee stakes. So, did you get Stadium 1? Yeah, I'm at Bluefield Road in Blackpool in the Championship. Absolutely mad atmosphere here tonight. Blackpool are playing Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough are flying, there's 4,000 of them either side of me. It's absolutely buzzing. Yeah, so the clue, I said they've been in the Premier League once since the turn of the century. They had one season in the Premier League, 2010-2011 with Ian Holloway. So, there you go, Stadium 1, Bluefield Road. Where's Stadium 2 going to be? We'll find out in a minute. There we go, did you get it? I'm at Rugby today. And Stadium 2 is the AJ Bell Stadium, home of Sale Sharks. There we go, it's coming out now. So yeah, I hope you got those two. So we had Blackpool's Bluefield Road Stadium 1 and the AJ Bell Stadium here at Sale Sharks. Something a little bit different, I suppose. So, right, okay then, better crack on, got some work to do. We'll have a look now at what's coming up maybe in episode 10. Okay everybody, let's go and close the door on episode 9 of This Is Smedders. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed putting it together. Another fortnight's gone past so quick. And I hope you enjoyed my chat with Tony O'Shea. That was really fun going down there to see him. Bin day today, look. Not been, it's 10:30 and they've not been yet. Not been, you get it. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed episode 9. Enjoyed my chat with Tony O'Shea and my little stadium quiz. Yeah, I don't know what's going to be on episode 10 everybody. I'm kind of liking the randomness really. Not really booking sort of guests or whatever, or putting ideas together sort of well in advance. It's all, like I say, all a bit random, and I'm kind of liking that. And still getting some really good sort of positive feedback and comments coming through. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, so I'll see you again for episode 10 of This Is Smedders in another fortnight. Please like and subscribe. And I hope, thanks very much to Mike Craig for helping me put it all together. And yeah, I'll see you in a fortnight for episode 10.